What is going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been able to spend a week with the 2019 Ford Expedition Limited, and in that time I put quite a few miles on it. I've got 5 likes and 5 dislikes coming at you right now. Now, before I get started, I want you to know I have a full detailed review of this vehicle. For this one, I'm just going to go over 5 likes and dislikes fairly quick, but if you want to see all the details and a test drive, please be sure to check that out. Now, in no particular order, starting with my likes, my like number 1 is going to be the Expedition is just very comfortable. These seats especially are very comfortable. They're plush, they're spacious enough, there's good thigh support. I've had no complaints with it whatsoever. One thing that I complain about in a lot of cars nowadays is the aggressive headrest. And with these, you can actually adjust it. They're ratcheting, so you can have it further forward to where it really gives you some support, or you can have it back to where you can kind of lean back into it, whatever's comfortable and safe for you. Plus, on the Platinum model, you can get massaging seats as well. And these are heated and ventilated, and both functions have worked really well. So like number 1, just very comfortable overall. My like number 2 is kind of continuing on with that, but it's the passenger space, especially in that third row. I'm 5'9". I can sit behind myself in the second row and have a ton of space for my feet, my knees, even headroom. And then in the third row seat with the second row all the way back, I can still sit back there and be comfortable. So for families, you truly probably don't need the Expedition Max if you want passenger space. If you want cargo space behind the third row, you should probably go for that. But there's tons of space overall. This thing can seat 8 people comfortably, and maybe even 8 adults comfortably. And I had 6 adults in here, and we were all just perfectly fine. My like number 3 is the power that this thing gives you. So it's got the 3.5 liter EcoBoost, and when you step on it, this thing will go. There's a little bit of a delay, and the 10-speed transmission I'll talk about a little bit later, but this thing really goes. And my favorite thing about this engine is that it's direct and port injected, so you get the best of both worlds with that. And if you go for the Platinum trim, you'll get 400 horsepower out of this thing and about 480 pound-feet of torque. That's really impressive for a 3-row family hauler. My like number 4 is the fact that there are cubby spaces all over the place. The doors themselves have quite a bit of space for garbage, umbrellas, cups. You've got a couple cup holders up here. You've got a storage bin for your phone, storage bin up on the dash, a huge center armrest, even little storage cubbies right next to your legs. Back there, there's even some storage cubbies. And in the cargo area, you've got a little cargo management system to where you can blockade off some stuff. You can have a shelf. So storage space is excellent, which is just perfect for a family vehicle like this. My like number 5 is the fact that this is a very quiet SUV. So first of all, it's not the quietest vehicle that I've ever driven, but it is very quiet on all road surfaces. Right now I'm on actually a rougher textured road that typically brings quite a bit of tire and road noise in here, but it really isn't loud at all. Both decibel ratings that I've done in my full review were below 70 decibels, which is pretty quiet, especially at higher interstate speeds and on rough textured roads. One thing about the noise is we've got laminated acoustic glass, so that definitely helps. There's a little bit of powertrain noise that comes in at times, but overall, very quiet, very serene. Now with my dislikes, in no particular order, starting with my dislike number 1, it's going to be the behavior of the 10-speed transmission sometimes. So sometimes it's been good. I've been happy with it. I've been impressed with it. But in stop-and-go traffic, man, this thing is herky-jerky sometimes. And I never experienced that in the Ranger or the F-150 when I had those. But I've had some times where I'm really disappointed with this transmission. When you get on it and it kicks down, it seems to kick down pretty fast. But other times it just seems like it doesn't know what gear to go in. And some of the shifts are very noticeable. So I've heard mixed reviews on these transmissions, good and bad. I was good with this transmission before in 2 other vehicles, but in here, I've just been disappointed with it. My dislike number 2 is, so most of the time on road surfaces, this thing is very smooth. You can glide over some potholes, some cracks, some bumps in the road with no problems at all. But when you get on a road that actually is kind of wavy and bumpy, and there's a road close to my house where I have to do that, it really kind of tosses you around, and it's the speed limit on the road, but it just kind of kicks you around in here, and the vehicle feels very floaty. Most time it doesn't feel like that, but there's sometimes where it's been bad enough to bother me, and it's kind of an uncomfortable feeling in a vehicle this big to almost feel out of control a little bit. My dislike number 3 is that it's an expensive vehicle. Now, to some of you, it provides all the value that you need for the price you pay, but this is not even the top trim level, and the one that I'm testing out this week is $70,000, which to me is expensive, of course. Once you get up into the top trims, you get into Lincoln Navigator prices, and the Navigator is well equipped, and it's an impressive vehicle. And this, if you're gonna get the top trim, you might as well just bump up and get the Navigator. My dislike number 4 is the B-pillar right here. Most of the time, the visibility in here seems to be okay, except there's been some times where I can't see a dang thing behind this B-pillar back here. So that's just part of it. When you turn around, the B-pillar itself is wide, but there's also a grab handle, so that makes it tough as well. My dislike number 5 is that LED headlights are not standard equipment, and some of you don't like LED headlights, but the truth is that LEDs are so much brighter and they just illuminate so much more than halogen headlights do. Halogen can be good at times when you've got ice and snow and stuff. It even melts it off of the headlight. But most of the time, people can benefit from LED headlights, and LEDs don't always blind you guys. There's projector beams, projector housings, lines that are strict lines of beams of light. Some cars are really bad about that, where they blind people, and halogen lights can be the same way. If an LED is the way it's supposed to be, where there's a definitive line that cuts off its height, they're excellent, but they're not standard on here. I have them on this model, but they're still not even that impressive. The fog lights help out a lot with the width and the peripheral vision, but the LED headlights on here are actually fairly narrow. So it doesn't come standard with LED headlights, and then the LED headlights that we have are not as good as some other LEDs. Now, I was a little harsh on it in some of my dislikes, but overall, I've really enjoyed this vehicle. It's very nice, it's very comfortable, it's very spacious, it's super capable. It can tow a bunch, it can go off-road, you've got good ground clearance, tons of space in here for passengers. So out of all of those, do you agree or disagree with them? Comment down below. If you own an Expedition, let me know what you think of it, and be sure to check out the full review down below as well for all the details and a test drive. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.